Next up in my accessories is the newest addition to my shotgun, the flashlight mount. It is another Magpul product. It's a two-part product, really. This lower part that attaches to the fore end is their m-lok cantilever mount, which is Magpul part number MAG587-BLK. I think they make an aluminum version of this. It's more premium and it might weigh just a little bit more, but I didn't go for that one because when my hands are here, the last thing I want is a really cold metal product. Usually I have gloves on, but the polymer is just fine. If you've ever used a Magpul product, you'll know that their polymer is extremely strong, and even if you do happen to crack it or break it, it generally holds on. It doesn't continue to crack. This is their cantilever mount. It mounts to any m-lok slot, so if you have a hand guard on your AR-15 with the m-lok slots, you can use it on there, or you know, on the bottom or side of the SGA fore end, anywhere with a m-lok slot. And it's flexible. It uses two T-nuts, so you can put it one T-nut here, one here, or you can just take up one slot. It adds a lot of flexibility. The other part to this flashlight mount is the rings. That is the Magpul V-Block light mount, MAG614-BLK. This lower part is just polymer basically, and then these rings are aluminum. Now, you'll have to forgive me on this flashlight. This is just a junker I had laying around. I haven't yet figured out what flashlight I want to put in here, but it will be replaced. This one it works, but I'd rather have a brighter one, and it's a really flimsy hung low Charlie brand. You know, they're the kind that you can get on eBay for like $3. So I wouldn't recommend getting one because there's a lot better flashlights out there, but it kind of introduces you to flashlights if you've never had a really nice Cree LED flashlight before. So these two are two separate parts. The cantilever is about $15. I believe the aluminum is like 25, somewhere in there. And then these V-block and rings are about 18. So this combination, it only ran me about just about $30, maybe $32. Which, if you're looking at flashlight mounts for your shotgun, that's actually one of the cheaper mounts that you can get, short of one of those really cheap stamped steel ones that clamps to here. When I was researching flashlight mounts, I looked at there's a C-Mod, I believe, on Amazon. It's up there. It's like $50-$60. But it's a solid chunk of aluminum milled out. It adds a little bit of flexibility, but not much. It doesn't hold a ton of flashlights. And it clamps to the magazine tube and the barrel. It may or may not mar the finish. I wasn't too concerned about the finish, but I was more concerned about the ability to take down this gun. I'm sure if you've ever used one or taken one down before, you know that the barrel has to come off before you can do much else. And then the fore end and the action bars come out, and then the bolt and all that stuff. So if you have something clamped here to the barrel and the magazine tube, you got to remove that each time you want to take the gun apart for cleaning, servicing, lubricating, whatever. I really liked those kinds of mounts because they put the flashlight forward and they don't cause much barrel shadow. Along with the C-Mod or whatever that one is called, I'll link in the description. There was the LZ, I believe the ZSM. It's a polymer, glass-filled polymer, that does the same thing, but it affords you a little bit more functionality. It comes with spacers, and you can use it on a 12 or 20 gauge, and it comes with spacers for the flashlight, so you can use a wide range of flashlights. Well, again, the problem is that it clamps here, and it's good because you don't get the barrel shadow, but again, you have to take it off in order to take the gun apart. I was gonna get the LZ, but thinking about and looking at the screws are just, the threaded inserts are just in the polymer, and I would imagine that after time of several takedowns, those might work their way out. Where when I found out this cantilever mount and the rings, I was skeptical because of the barrel shadow, but I decided to give it a try because it was cheaper than any of the other options that I was looking at. And the benefit was, I don't have to take this off each time I take the gun apart, because this fore end just slides off and this thing isn't in the way at all. The downside is that it sits further back and causes more barrel shadow, which I'll try to illustrate here for you. See if I can, let me turn these lights off. Yeah, that doesn't really show up, but you can see that there is shadowing here, but that amount, when you look at it further out, it doesn't cause much concern. And when you're at a reasonable distance away from a target that you're trying to shoot, it doesn't cause any problems. It doesn't obscure what you're trying to shoot. In fact, it illuminates most of the entire target. Also, to combat barrel shadow, you can get a longer flashlight. Some of the Phoenix flashlights, that's F-E-N-I-X, are pretty long, and you can mount them in the rear, and they should end up about here. The head of it should be about here, and so you'll get even less shadow from that. How it's set up right now, I have no problem with the barrel shadow. I can confidently see what I'm trying to shoot at, even in pitch black, no moon or anything like that. It gives you plenty of light to work with. And again, this is a really cheap light. If you had a nicer light on here, you'd have even more light. So I think if you complement this mount with a nice flashlight, either a Surefire or a Phoenix or any one of those brands, even if it's Chinese, they still make pretty nice ones, just as long as you don't get one like this. Get one from a manufacturer with a lifetime warranty, and it will last you a long time. So all in all, I do recommend this V-block mount. Some people like to have it on the left-hand side if you shoot right-hand. I do shoot right-hand, but because of this sling mount, I can't have it here. This would cause way too much shadow. So generally when I'm shooting, I just tilt this over, pop that on with my other hand, and then I'm ready to go. One thing that I almost forgot is, since this is sitting further back, it does have a tendency to illuminate the front sight post, which does make it easier to see in nighttime situations. So that is an added benefit. So that wraps up the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please write them in a comment below.